Hello YouTube, Kaitlyn here, and today is Veda Day 24, and we're gonna talk about writing a novel today. But don't you have to be like a professional author to do something like that? Today's suggestion comes from Aaron MJTV, who says that he's always had these characters and scenes and ideas in his head, but he's only recently started writing them down, and so he wants to know how best to portray them. So let me ask the imagination as a whole. Do you have an idea for a novel, or a movie, or a short story? Are there characters, scenes, entire worlds just waiting to burst out of your brain? If so, I know exactly how you feel. I started writing a novel when I was 13 in 8th grade, and it was because I just had these characters and stories in my head that I lived and breathed them. They were always there. And I continued writing that story until I was 18, basically my freshman year in college is when I kind of stopped. Not because I wanted to stop, but just because I got too busy. But over that time, I filled 2 journals and 263 handwritten pages of my story. And then last year, I was like, I really miss writing. I want to get back to writing. You see, I've always imagined the story being published. I see it as like a 3 or 4 book series, depending on how I'm feeling and how many books I want to write. And I've always let people read little pieces of it over the years, and they're always like, this is so good, I really like this, you know, like keep going, I want to read the full thing. So I just felt really compelled that this story needs to be just more than in my head. It needs to be out in the world for other people to read. But then I reread some of the stuff that I wrote in middle and high school, and I was like, oh my gosh, why? This is awful. The story, the plot, that I still love. It's still fine. It was the execution, the narrative that was kind of terrible because it would switch around like point of view, and it would be really based off of whatever I had been reading at the time, because I was learning how to write a novel by reading other novels. So in 2014, my New Year's resolution was to start rewriting my novel, and I would write a chapter every month so that by the end of the year I would have 12 chapters, which doesn't really sound like that much, but when I thought about it, I was like, wait, I spent the last 3 or 4 years going, I should rewrite my novel, but I don't have time. And if I rewrite 1 chapter a month for a whole year, then I will have 12 chapters. And that's way more than I've had the past few years where I've just been like, I should do it, but I'm too busy. And I did it, yeah! So that's my writing experience, and I definitely intend to write this whole novel and to publish it because that would be awesome, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And my advice for anyone who's interested in writing a novel or just writing short stories like Aaron is to just do it. Just do it, like Shia LaBeouf says. Set a goal like I did and stick to it. It might be writing a chapter every month. It might be writing 1 page of your story every day. Or maybe you write on even days of the month and then sketch ideas on odd days of the month. Whatever fits your story. Whatever you want to do. The key is to just do it. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. Certainly what I wrote over those 12 months and those 12 chapters is not perfect at all because I didn't want to edit it. I just wanted to continue writing even if it didn't make sense, even if it was bad writing. My goal was to just write and get the story out there. Right now, it's about getting those characters and stories and scenarios out onto paper, out of your head and out into the world. You could also have friends or parents read excerpts of your story and give you feedback. You could incorporate their feedback or completely disregard it. It's your story, so you get to decide what you want to do with it. But I will say that it's always good to have someone other than you reading what you're writing or creating because they can give you kind of an outside perspective. You tend to get like, this is my baby, I love it. And you need someone outside of it to go, all right, this is good, or maybe you could try this instead. And more than anything, just write for you. Don't let time constraints get in the way. I definitely have done that as I've gotten older. But what I love about younger writers is that you have a lot more time than you realize. I'm so glad that I started writing when I was in 8th grade and I really took it seriously, and you can too. Use this time to hone your skill. It may not be the best thing you've ever written, like when you look back at it 5 years from now like I did, and it was like, oh, ugh. But experiment and figure out your writing style, and the only way you can do this is by writing. So enjoy writing, tell your stories, give your characters life like a new age Dr. Frankenstein. And tell me what you think in the comments. Are you trying to write a novel? Plus remember to like, favorite, share, and subscribe if this video made you smile. See you guys tomorrow.